A very warm welcome, everyone, at the Dell Technologies webinar today. Today, we have a session on Masterclass on VDI solutions for higher education. And I would like to welcome all our esteemed guests today, Mr. Amit Gupta, Sales Engineer, North and East India Dell. We have with us Mr. Rajesh Ranmani, Director, Synergy and Strategic Business, Vmware. Mr. Manoj Balan, Senior Systems Engineer, OEM and Alliances, Vmware. I take over the dais to you, sir, and you can conduct the session and now.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just start sharing my screen. Yeah, hope we are able to see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So, thank you for that introduction, Pooja. My name is Rajesh Ramnani, as Pooja mentioned, and I lead the synergy sales for VMware. And today we are going to talk about the future of smart campuses. Now, as we all know, about a year ago, India went into a lockdown, and the situation is kind of grim even today. So, essentially, what has it impacted the most? And in our view, the higher education system got disrupted the maximum because students who were actually you used to going to physical educational institution or physical center suddenly had to shift to digital platforms, and that meant that the educational institutions had also required to shift to a digital only learning platform. They had to support students who were dialing in from their particular residences, and as well as their staff and educators who were also remotely accessing their environment. Uh, this continues till date because there is still an ambiguity on when the physical education to the premises will start. And with all these complexities, there is an increased risk from a security and a cyber risk perspective. So, so what exactly has happened? And we all realize that the students who were used to going to a physical school, having one-on-one learning models where students used to sit and teachers used to train them, there is now a big divide uh, in this kind of a model, and we all need to relearn the next steps. So, essentially speaking, what we do see is that students have now started demanding that they get the same experience which they used to get in a physical world in this virtual world as well, which means that today they should be allowed to access this environment from the choice of the devices that is available to them. And these are multitude of devices, we all know that. This also means that they should be able to access the applications which are provided by the educational institutions on their choice of devices while accessing their own personal application on those same devices. They need the flexibility of moving between the devices based on the situation and the place that the students are in. And at the same time, there are multitude of applications which are SaaS based, or which are provided as software as a service. For example, Zoom, Office 365, etc., or Adobe for that matter, which are actually cloud-based applications which now need to be accessed by these students. So a lot of these has changed the learning pattern that we have today. And while the students are the center of the universe for these educational institutions and educators, they also need to make sure that the staff as well as the teachers are equally connected uh, in the same seamless manner that they were earlier to their students. The tools that the students are used to in the physical world are made accessible to them, irrespective of their endpoint devices and their connectivity needs, keeping in mind the the basic well-being of these students. So, so what it means for us is that the educational institutions seem particularly need to have applications delivered on any device and any cloud, and these can be any applications. To look at it pictorially, you would see that these devices can be a desktop, a laptop, an iPad, a phone, depending on what the the students have at their disposal and at their convenience. And when you talk of applications, these can be applications which are delivered from the the data centers in the schools. They can be delivered from cloud, or they can also be delivered through any SaaS-based environment like Microsoft Office 365 or Zoom, or for that matter, Adobe, and so on and so forth. And these can be delivered through any of the clouds, whether it is the on-prem environment at the school, or these can be public cloud providers like Amazon, or it can be a third party like SIFI or Tata Communications, or these can also be hub locations which are closer to the student centers. So these are the various expectations that are there. But at the same time, while delivering all this, the educators have to make sure that that security is is built into the entire fabric. So, lastly, what we will see in the forthcoming discussions, and Manoj and Amit will take you through them. We will understand that how, with the help of Dell and VMware, we are able to first onboard or provision this environment for students in no time. At the same time, while they are accessing their own personal applications on these devices, we will be able to securely deliver the content which we want to deliver onto these devices in the most seamless manner. At the same time, the experience, whether they are doing it from an X device or a Y device, or based on whatever network they are in, should be seamless. And lastly, we will see how the types of applications, which are multitude of them, which can provide the seamless learning experience, can be availed of through this environment. So this is all from my side. Now I will hand it over to Manoj to talk to you about the actual solution which you can use to deliver this presentation. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rajesh, for that insight. I'll continue from where Rajesh has left, and let me see if I can share my screen. Just a moment. Is the screen visible?
Not yet, Manoj.
Second. Okay. Yep. I hope it's coming
So
up.
you just,
Yeah.
yes, yes, it is visible now.
Okay, great. So, as Rajesh mentioned, there are multiple ways in which VMware helps in terms of looking at how you can modernize the entire learning experience, right? And it all begins with looking at it from a digital perspective. So, many things, in fact, some of the key benefits we see it impacting the education field is there is a way in which you can change the entire digital campus setup, right? You can bring in modern tools and technology to change the way in which contents are delivered within the campus, and online, offline, many ways around it. The second part to it is the entire model now changes because you have various differentiation methods available to do this. And from even from a student centric learning experiences, you have better approach, because students can now actually spend a lot of time in collaboration and various other things. So you give the students the choice of being digital, mobile, and online all at the same time. From um, from a um, from the faculty point of view, right? You bring in new ideas and new concepts that can be used by the faculty to reach out to their students in a much easier and simpler manner. And finally, the whole purpose of doing this thing is around protecting the IP that you have around your content. Each education institute, university is unique because they have their unique way of methodology of teaching the content that they publish, and this needs to be secured. And at no given cost, this has to be exposed to the external world. Only the authorized personals, which are students and the faculty, would have access to it. So that's the whole purpose of getting digital is all about. And all of this is possible with by knowing the things that is done in today's environment. Now, if you see from today's perspective, you have all the learning aspect done with the PC as the center of the campuses. It's all PC centric, and this is same even if you're be it for labs, be it for aided learning, many things like this. So the PC is the heart of almost all campuses, and that at times is a challenge because you are now bringing in an entity that has to be managed. So there is a life cycle that goes into managing these devices, both from a hardware and a software perspective. And some of those challenges are what you see listed down over there on those slides, right? And it makes it bit rigid, uh, and it's not something that is ready that you can use for a digital experience. And VMware helps in changing this design. So what we do is we transform this landscape into something which is more more user friendly. So you have thin clients that can be used as a method of access. It could be personal laptops of students that could be used for access, or it could be reusing of the same desktop that you can do to connect to these desktop devices, right? And it helps greatly because it has its own technology and business technology benefits. Because if you see from this particular slide, what we are trying to do is you're not going to end up creating multiple Windows desktop images. You may have a master image, and you're just using the cloning functionality to cut out images for the users who log in. And this way you save a lot on terms of bandwidth, storage, and various other things. From a business perspective, you bring in a lot of things as well, right? Hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
one second. I think I lost the connectivity there. Is
Yes,
the
yes.
screen visible?
Yes, it is
Okay.
visible.
So as I was mentioning, apart from the technology benefits, there are business benefit because you now have something which is more fluid. Something like this can be set up much more easier and in a faster manner. So you have that fluidity to onboard any kind of content or learning experiences, right? And and some of the key things we bring in with our solution to this kind of digital learning experience are some of the technology features that's part of the solution. A simple example would be we can bifurcate between the need for an entire Windows desktop vis-a-vis a couple of applications only. Like for example, if you're working in a call center kind of an environment, we can only park the we can only give you the application that is needed for that particular kind of a profile. Like for example, a user needs only a Chrome browser, doesn't need the rest of the desktop to navigate through and get his task done, right? So we can bifurcate how the user wants this experience to be. Does he need a full desktop environment, or does he need only a portion of application to be published? It can be just in time as well. So you can think of running a student and faculty environment in shifts, right? So you can have lab running in the morning, and the lab can be discarded, and you can have something else running in the second shift. So this is all possible because you have just in time provisioning technologies. In addition to this, the solution can be binded to smart policies, which could be part of the Active Directory environment, which is the single source of truth. And finally, they all come with a package of managing the entire environment, which is a single management window from where you can manage the desktop, the applications, the user, the concurrency of the sessions, and many things around it. Right? A small sample of how this technology would land into when you're trying to onboard this in your campuses or in your data center within the campus. This is how it would be represented. So you can have users coming in through various devices, tabs, mobiles, a personal laptop, or even a thin client that is offered to them if they are faculty or if they are deemed needed for that device, and they can come in through any of these devices, get authenticated, and be connected to their virtual desktops. And these virtual desktops can be created on the fly, they can be modified, they can be even personalized depending on the user who is coming in and accessing it. And this whole package is highly secure, and we give our customers the choice of taking it from a bundle kind of a perspective as well. So we have some bundles that we have created for different t-shirt models of users, and some of the sample is what you see on the screen here. So we have made this keeping in mind the kind of user that would log into, the kind of hardware resources that would go in building up these configurations. All of these information are shareable. We have a package around it. So if you want to start small and you would like to say, okay, I want to go with a minimum 100 user, this is how the t-shirt model would look like, from hardware, software, even from an endpoint perspective. So we can offer that as a combined configuration bundle, right? And none of this is is worthwhile to you without mentioning some of the cases we have won together in the geography. And this is with respect to the education sector, where we have virtual desktop being embraced in a good fashion. One of this customer case study which we thought would greatly benefit is Pimpri Chinchwad. So Pimpri Chinchwad used a lot of virtual desktop for their lab management kind of a program. And the reason they did this was they saw challenges that come with traditional method of desktop provisioning, right? So that to give away to that, they introduced virtual desktop for their lab environment. And in similar lines, we do have VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, who also have used virtual desktops for flexible on-demand lab. So that's the environment they have used in for, because a lot of time goes into sitting with students and making them understand on the lab part. But if you expose them directly to the lab environment, which is say 24/7, they can do it themselves. They can just follow the courses, the guides, and get it done for themselves, right? So this is in short snippet what we thought would excite you from looking at virtual desktops as a new way of digital learning experience, right? So with this, I'll hand it over to Amit, who can walk you through the rest of the portion from an endpoint perspective.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Manoj. Hope my screen is visible and I'm audible, pretty much audible. So, thank you. Good morning, guys. I'm Amit Gupta, and I'll take session forward, and we'll talk about our endpoints. We have talked about on management and application and desktop delivery. Now we'll talk about our endpoints. Which is a major role to play, and most of the secure environment made from the and start from the endpoint and at that data center. Let's talk about work, projects, lab, and how the way student work in changing. Their work is no longer dependent on lab PC or maybe their college machine or school machines. Now they wants to bring their device, they want to leverage or they want to use any PC to access VDI or their virtual application or office or school or universities, applications. And because now it's become an activity for them. Based on the research, we have found, 49% of schools and universities are having a challenge on PC's life cycle, which is hard to believe, but not only 15% schools and university asked to configure PCs should have or match all the security parameters. Schools and universities are adopting desktop virtualization and digital workspace to drive initiatives such as compliance, security, and key application support and simplify management. But not all, because they think deployment of desktop virtualization is more complicated and difficult to manage. Technology is driving rapid change in the world and in the education. However, with positive side, we have seen there is a small growth in existing footprint and good amount of adoption in new projects of VDI, and because this have changed or more, we have seen this change after this global pandemic. And with Dell technology end-to-end VDI solutions consists of product and services are enabling school universities to reap the full benefit of desktop virtualization and personal access to cloud for a broad spectrum of student use cases. Dell thin clients are easy to deploy. It takes about just 1 minute to deploy with ThinOS, and then student can access to their virtual desktops or virtual application from any device or anywhere. Dell 5470 all-in-one deliver twice the performance than the prior generations. And Wyse thin client automated configurations from Wyse Management Suite, which is very easy to manage centrally. These are some of challenges we have seen based on our research. And most of the universities and colleges are having a common challenges like providing a remote access to the key applications. Desktop management is a mission for teachers. Difficult to maintain multi-environment where student ask Linux and Windows operating system at the same time. Student use or bring their external storage to connect with the endpoint, which lead to either crash the operating system, or teachers have to manage the devices and not able to secure the devices. With Dell end-to-end VDI solutions help university just not only deliver the hassle-free solution, but help school and university to manage all applications, desktop and endpoints centrally. Provide access to data and application from any device, anywhere, just to increase flexibility and mobility of students and teachers. Deliver multi-desktop OS like Windows, Linux at the same time, with considering all security and virus resistant operating system. This can be achieved using Dell end-to-end VDI solutions. Through VDI, your schools and university can improve infrastructure and data security with desktop and application virtualizations. Here at Dell, we are uniquely positioned to provide complete ACE2 core cloud VDI solutions through a single vendor, including infrastructure, software, endpoints, and services to assist with everything from financing your VDI environment to maintain your solutions lifecycle. The new generations of Wyse thin client power your organizations with more efficient and effective digital experience that enhance the student experience and make endpoint more secure and easy to manage and configure. Wyse client and software are designed to enhance virtual workspace with the ultimate security and intelligent unified management. Wyse client operating systems are secure enough for all workers, students, and teachers in all situations and are easy to manage. Wyse thin client deliver ultimate flexibility with the ThinOS and Windows 10 IoT operating systems. Wyse Management Suite is a flexible cloud management solution that allow to centrally configure, monitor, manage, and optimize Wyse thin client and zero client and software thin client anytime, anywhere. It's a zero-touch configuration done by Wyse Management Suite. Wyse 3000 series designed around Intel quad-core processors. Wyse 3040 deliver business class performance for virtual workspace and support Wyse ThinOS with native support of dual display. Wyse 5000 series, the meet advanced business need of collaborative knowledge and graphic intensive students. The Wyse 5070 deliver high speed processing with the latest generation quad core CPUs and ultimate flexibility with Wyse ThinOS and Windows 10 IoT operating systems. Wyse ThinOS is a Dell exclusive operating system, which is the most secure operating system on thin client. With closed architecture system hardening with limit attack surface and unpublished API, by default encrypt data and file exclusively packaged by Dell. As I said, ThinOS is virus and malware resistant operating systems. Teachers or professors can experience effortless setup and management with rich student experience with the latest high performance desktop virtualization protocol. Wyse ThinOS support most popular unified communication solutions, keep students at their best. ThinOS is ready to connect to Citrix, Microsoft, VMware, Amazon Workspace environment. ThinOS's hands-free deployment is just about a minute, and auto-configure of VDI client in less than 10 minutes with end-to-end management from Wyse Management Suite. Windows 10 IoT combined Dell optimizations in management and user experience with rich Windows ecosystems. Windows 10 IoT delivers immersive productivity of your digital workspace. Voice Thin Client running on Windows 10 IoT deliver a shorter time to access VDI and virtual applications. With the Wyse Easy setup and support, all type of virtual workspaces and broad range of eligible local Windows application and peripheral to improve collaboration and security. Wyse Windows 10 IoT experience enhance protection against modern security threat, less disruptions in your workday, and less time to managing or remediations of device. Wise added value software provide enhanced write filter protections and advanced threat protections. Wyse 5470 mobile thin client get the most secure mobile thin client with Dell exclusive ThinOS or choose Windows 10 IoT with Dell added security feature. Built in with robust security features including Intel dual core, quad core processor with integrated graphic and rich multimedia experience. 5470 is TPM enabled and FIPS compliant with Windows 10 IoT and integrated with the smart card reader for additional security and authentication purpose. Does support all major VDI solutions like VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, and Amazon Workspaces. All-in-one comes with 24-inch full HD IPS display with support for a second display at 4K 60 Hz for even more flexibility. Make space for things that matter with space-saving footprint and multiple stand options. So you can find a position that gets you a peak productivity with optimal comfort. You can benefit from a broad support of peripheral to empower a faster, smarter workflow and seamless collaboration with built-in support for unified communications. Dell 5470 All-in-One is ready to connect with VMware, Citrix, Microsoft, and Amazon Workspace. And it's easy to manage centrally using Wyse Management Suite. Wyse 5070 is most versatile, scalable, and capable thin client platform ever positions for mid-range or educations or setting up a new standard for price performance. Wyse 5070 can be configured as an economic task worker workstation and within the same platform definition to be fashioned for uh, students who are utilizing a 3D design application on 4K display. Microsoft VDI environment, VMware, or Citrix, we do support on this platform. This is the most tiny thin client from the Dell, and it is capable to take all required workload on VDI or virtual applications which designed for standard users or students, with innovative design. Wyse 3040 is the smallest and lightest thin client from Dell. Ideal for space constrained environments, several custom designs mounting solutions help maximize workspace setup and deliver all-in-one experience with behind the monitor mounting solutions. This thin clients comes or capable to deliver quad-core CPU and having a multiple various ports options available, including USB third generations. We have talked about VDI solutions, and we are also talking about VDI should deliver, or virtual application should deliver, or cloud or SaaS-based application deliver from the cloud. And at the same time, when we talked about what about the operating system, client device operating system, uh, are we able to manage our endpoints operating system through cloud? Do we have any subscription model when if machines are not in use, can we stop our investment? So all of these questions arrives, and at Dell, the answer is that a hybrid client operating system. Our exclusive cloud managed client software solutions designed for anytime, anywhere access, providing a security, accessibility, and persistent to every part of student and teacher's workday. Convenient to secure, single sign-on, providing a security and freedom to your workforce need, immediate access to necessary app and data, whether they are hosted on public cloud, private cloud, or reside locally on the student device. Once a student logged in, can seamlessly use the array of IT-approved web applications, VDI, virtual application, or local Linux applications. And best part of that, you don't need to depend or don't need to bring your own or external storage, because it does support your cloud storage like OneDrive, Google Drive. And as soon as user log in, they'll have their own cloud storage attached to their profile and applications. And once work done, everything can be logged off and wiped off from the device. Nothing will reside on the device. Wyse Management Suite is a flexible cloud management solutions that allow to centrally configure, monitor, manage, and optimize Wyse Thin Client, Zero Client, and Software Thin Client anytime, anywhere. Wyse Management Suite is a user-friendly right from the start, from zero to productivity instantly. Wyse Management Suite Pro on public or private cloud, manage from anywhere and view critical alert notifications on the dashboard and send the real-time commands to the endpoints, and can be managed using any browser, any device, or helpdesk team can even leverage mobile applications to view or to monitor the environment. Wyse Management Suite is trusted by many institute organizations with an Active Directory authentication or role-based administrations. It provides advanced security through two-factor authentications and allow HTTP based imaging and compliance alert and policies. Wyse Management Suite comes in two editions, Standard and Pro, and there are some feature difference. We'll share later the sessions, and is easy to manage and does not require any specialized skills. It's a very simplified solutions and manage and deploy. This is a ready solution for VDI. On top, you can see which is our endpoints, 3000 series, 5000 series, all-in-one and mobile thin client. And we do support all major VDI solutions. Dell EMC end-to-end VDI solutions consist of products and services designed to enable organizations to reap the full benefit of desktop virtualizations, and personal access to the cloud for broad spectrum of use cases with purpose-designed hardware, software services, and end-to-end solutions that work hands in hands with desktop virtualization software from Microsoft, VMware, and Citrix. The way Dell differentiate from competition is by bringing all these components together. Dell has desktop virtualization solution from VMware. A lot vendor has a similar solution component, but what make our data center hardware differentiated is that we make a lot easier to connect the hardware the way that useful to our customer. And Dell manage all end-to-end starting from the data center and the device. And Dell VBlock, vSAN, Node, VxRail, all are market leader solutions, which we provide as a service, or we can provide as a solutions as well. That's it my side, Shakes and Pooja, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the conducting the session. And Deepak ji, can you please bring all our speakers on screen? There is a few questions we would like to ask. That we have a question to Mr. Rajesh Ramnani. That what is difference between G Suite and your solution, sir? If you can kindly explain it a bit to our audience who are watching us live.
Yeah, Pooja, I did answer that query on chat as well. So you see, G Suite is a SaaS-based application, uh, which is basically just like a Zoom application or any other SaaS-based application. Now, these kind of applications are supported in the VMware environment because our solution basically is delivering virtual desktops securely to students and end users, and all the backend applications which are provided to ensure that they are securely delivered. The experience is seamless across any devices. As Amit mentioned, there are multitude of devices which we have, or any other device outside of their purview, and also delivering not just on any device but also via any network. So this is the major difference between our solution and any other uh, application which provides support for educational institutions.
We have a question from the audience that what is the structure of Dell to identify threats, vulnerabilities in smart campuses? Anyone, one of sir, you can answer uh, this question. That what is the structure of Dell to identify threats, vulnerabilities in smart campuses now?
Yeah, I can take that question. So essentially, smart campuses today, the understanding is they comprise of uh, of delivering virtually the environment which was physically available to students anywhere, on any device, on any network. Now, of course, there is a threat on personal devices because these are unmonitored by the schools. So essentially, what we do in the solution which was explained earlier is that the data is resides in the campus itself. The data does not flow from the campus to the student's laptop. There is a sandbox environment created at the student endpoint. Through that sandbox environment, the applications which are outside this sandbox environment don't interfere with applications inside the sandbox environment, which means that the education institutions can now deliver these applications securely in this environment, virtually display their content, and once the student session is over, he will log off from that environment and he can continue working uh, on their desktops or laptops as if that environment did not exist at all.
So, if you can answer this, that what do you see as the future of smart campuses in our country, and how do you define the smart campus in your terms?
Um, okay, so smart campuses, as per me, are educational institutions who are able to deliver the experience whether the student is in campus, outside the campus, or anywhere in the world, they are able to seamlessly deliver the same experience as they would have while the student was in the classroom or in their campuses. So that is a very simplistic definition of what a smart campus, but what it requires at the back end is a multitude of technologies and solutions, and one of it is, of course, what we offer from Dell and VMware put together, wherein we have endpoint devices, the backend infrastructure, as well as the applications to support conversion from to these smart environments.
Sir, if anyone can answer, Manoj sir or Amit sir can answer this same question, that what do you see as the future of smart campuses in our country? Amit Gupta ji and Manoj Balan ji, if you're available. If you can answer this question, sir, that what do you see the future of smart campuses in the country? The same question, and how do you define the smart campuses in your own terms?
See, if we talk about smart campus, a lot of many of organizations and universities are moving towards providing access to cloud-based application or virtual desktop. So device wants a device agnostic solution and want students can access their applications or desktop from anywhere. They don't need to particularly coming to the colleges or schools to and take the access to those application or desktop from the lab PCs. And we have seen many of universities and organizations are asking to convert their traditional or legacy environment to a smart labs, or where they don't need to have a dependent on the particular technology, or don't need to dependent on the particular desktop. That solution should have a should be available over the internet, or whenever user or student ask, that solution should be available.
See, if you can.
And we have seen drastic ask in the up, nowadays or in future also, we are working in many of similar projects.
So, if you can explain us that how much does the solution cost to the traditional laboratory setups in the campuses?
See that cost is always depends on or having a multi component involved. So as Manoj have shown, multiple profile options based on the profile which schools or university choose. Based on that, cost can be defined. And that also depends solution, if customer is looking for cloud-based solution or if on-premises solutions, that cost always differ.
So, if you can compare that, how much does the solution cost and compare to the traditional lab setups in the campuses?
Manoj, would you like to answer?
Yeah, in fact, just to add what Amit mentioned, there are multiple factors involved here. So, if anyone from the delegates is interested to know it from a cost of say 100 user or 200, we can work offline with that delegate and arrive at a particular cost. Uh, but it would be tough to compare it from a traditional point of view, just on the capacity part, because the OPEX benefit is what they get from this technology.
Also, all our three of our esteemed guests, if each one, if you can answer this question, we are getting that from last 1 year, there has been a huge virtual transformation and how it has helped in the virtualization of campuses. Anyone can answer this question, sir, if you would like to.
Yeah, I can, if required, take this question.
There is
So,
this.
as you know, yeah, how it has helped. So, if you see, when I started my presentation, I was talking about uh, that the pandemic has shifted physical campuses to virtual campuses. And today, Dell is playing a very key role. And one or two examples of how this was done was shared by Manoj. These are some of the case studies that we did. So there are three areas where I think Dell can add value. First is that Amit said on the endpoints, you require reliable technology at the student end, whether it's a laptop, a desktop, a thin client, to access this environment at the back end. Second aspect over here is the access that is provided to these students, which is the applications that the university is trying to provide. So this access has to be provided depending on which desktops or endpoints or mobile devices that the student is using. So for that purpose, VMware comes into the picture and we provide the backend technology which actually helps access. And the third aspect is the backend infrastructure itself, which are the servers, the hyperconverged infrastructure which goes into the campus. So if you see, Dell has is the leader when it comes to servers, storage, hyperconverged solutions, and these are the technologies on where these applications will sit within the data center of the campuses, the labs of the campuses, or for that matter, the outsourced data centers. So all the three areas, whether it's the endpoint, the connectivity, as well as the backend infrastructure, is where Dell help. We have certified partners of the biggest range of partners ever, as well as an in-house consulting support and services team, which will get engaged with the endpoint with the educational institutions, and based on the requirement, will design the whole solution, and then with the help of partners, we will deploy the entire solution.
So thank you so much. We will end this session today of the masterclass on VDI solutions for higher education. If we can please present the certificates to all our esteemed speakers. Mr. Amit Gupta, congratulations, sir. Thank you for gracing the occasion today. Mr. Rajesh Ramnani, thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. And Mr. Manoj Balan, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for gracing